सर 5 मिनिट बोंडे सर जॉईन झाले का मग नंतर आपण सुरू करू.
हो चालेल चालेल.
येस सर, येस थँक्यू सर.
मी करतो 5 मिनिटापुरतच येणार आहे सुरू. तुमचं स्क्रीन शेअर होतोय, रेकॉर्ड होतोय. तुम्ही जे काय कराल स्क्रीन येणार आहे म्हणजे अतिशय हात नका लावा. ओके तुम्ही पिशवरून ॲडव्हर्टमेंट करून तुम्हाला लॉगिन करावं लागेल. नाही याला मी इथं आपण ॲडव्हर्टमेंटचं ते ऑप्शन टाकून देऊ ना एक्सटेन्शन.
नाही आता नाही चालणार. आता
चालेल. चालेल सर. करा होईल. आपण हे बंद करू. त्यांना काय आता त्यांचं काही कॉन्टॅक्ट नंबर आपल्याकडे असंच नाही येत.
सर जॉईन झाले बघा.
येस सर.
Can you hear me?
या या या
Yeah. Oh, nice to see you all. Hi.
या या. थँक्यू सर, थँक्यू.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Can we start, sir?
Sure. No problem.
Fine, sir. Fine, sir.
So, what is the audience like?
Sir, most of the time students and PhD students are there. Most of the time, yes, sir. And few faculty members are also there.
Right, sir.
Okay. Okay, respected principal, sir, Dr. VP Gaikwad, sir, IQAC coordinator, Dr. ND Gaikwad, sir, Vice Principal, Dr. Kotme, sir, our HOD, Dr. VR Kakulte, sir, and today's speaker, Dr. Ramesh Bonde, sir, and all the participants. Hello and good morning to all participants and all people. I welcome you all in the first session of the lecture series on zoological research, current perspectives, opportunities, and future scope. First of all, I would like to invite our head of the department, Dr. Kakurte sir, to start with the keynote.
Hello. Good morning to one and all attending this online lecture series. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you, all the faculties, PG students, UG students from different streams of all over India for 3-day online lecture series on zoological research, current perspective, opportunities and future scope. Is organized by Department of Zoology, KTHM College, Nasik. The purpose of this online lecture series is to make students aware of basic research about zoological research and relationship with agriculture sciences, as well as the future scope for students in the subject. This knowledge also inculcate to stakeholders for strengthen the research capacity building component and improve the economy of our country, as well as to raise the awareness of stakeholders with related of transdisciplinary field of zoology, research and their contribution to sustainable development. In this lecture series, first, today our eminent resource person, Dr. Ramesh Bonde sir. Dr. Bonde sir is a retired scientist of National Center for Cell Sciences and presently working as a research head, DY Patil University. His talk on stem cell research and its importance. Today's second eminent speaker is Dr. Jatishwar Singh. He is working as postdoctoral fellow in International Institute of Entomology, says the Republic. They deliver talk on basic entomology and botany. Second day, our eminent speaker is Professor R.S. Pandit. Professor Pandit is Senate member of Savitribai Phule Pune University and professor in Department of Zoology, SPDU Pune. He will deliver talk on advanced research on entomology. Another eminent speaker on second day, Dr. R.B. Dangare. He is a retired deputy commissioner, department, Ahmednagar. They specially talk about agriculture and freshwater technique. Third day, first eminent speaker is Dr. N.K. Subedar. He is a visiting faculty, biology department, ISER Pune. They specially talk on animal behavior and with relation neuropeptides. This lecture series, last eminent speaker is Professor Belavade. He is retired professor, Department of Entomology, University of Agricultural Sciences, Bengaluru. They talk on bees as a new world, taxonomy and diversity of bees. There are various measures that could be undertaken at individual, at the farmer and the government level to research and capacity building of these essential key factors of our ecosystem in efficient manner. In this regard, I hope today's webinar or today's lecture series will be a critical insight to build the STRIDE component second, animal conservation and research related aspects to enlighten the young minds to take up the research in the field of near future to help secure the humanity and its existence. I again welcome to you all the participants for this online lecture series session and also welcome to our college principal Dr. V.B. Gaikwad sir for keynote address for this online lecture series. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I would like to invite our principal, sir, Dr. V.B. Gaikwad, for next address. Sir, over to you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Anirudh. The chief guest of today's function, Dr. Ramesh Bonde, the head of the Department of Zoology, Dr. Vikram Kakurte, IQAC coordinator, Dr. N.D. Gaikwad, coordinator of this lecture series, Dr. S.K. Kidme, all the faculty members, fellow colleagues, participant friends. At the very outset, I welcome you all on behalf of Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samaj, KRT Art, BH Commerce, AM Science College, popularly known as a KTHM College, Nasik. Sir, I am not going to explain anything about the zoology, but in short, I will try to summarize the achievement of Sir Eco येतोय बोला. Hello.
Sir, you go ahead, sir.
रश्मी गांगुर्डे, तुम्ही तुमचं माईक ऑफ करा. रश्मी, हा सर, कंटिन्यू करा.
Okay. I'm not going to explain anything about the zoology, but I would like to express my sincere gratitude to zoology department, means the organizing committee of the zoology department, as they have selected the emerging topics for this lecture series in the quality as well as the quantity for the year of establishment to the present day. I feel very happy to present the significant milestone of the KTHM College for the delegate as well as the participant and the researcher. In the first cycle, we have been accredited with A grade by the National Assessment and Accreditation Council in 2003. Savitribai Phule Pune University, the then Pune University, has witnessed Best College Award to KTHM in 2004. In the same year, Bhagat sir, सगळे म्यूट करा की.
Yes, sir.
In the same year, the University Grant Commission glorified us offering the status of college with potential for the excellence in the first phase. In 2006, the Department of Science and Technology of the Government of India identified our chemistry department as the DST Phys department, which has enriched its potential. The University Grant Commission has restored our status of colleges with potential for excellence in the second phase as well in the year 2009. We have successfully retained A grade in the National Assessment and Accreditation Council in 2011 in the second cycle with 3.30 CGPA, that is a cumulative grade point average. Year 2014, 15, 16 onwards contributed a lot in our enhancement. It has offered DBT star scheme, DST fixed at 0 level, comprehensive at college level. Status of colleges with potential at the third phase, and most importantly, one UGC community program and two UGC BHOC program. The year 2017 has added one more shining feather in KTHM crown when we have been accredited with A++ grade with 3.79 CGPA. We have secured first place among all the colleges in Maharashtra and fourth place in the country. 2018 again a proved significant year when Savitribai Phule Pune University endowed Best College Award to KTHM for the second time, considering our contribution in the academic, administrative, as well as different supporting services. This year has also added the 3 programs of the Bachelor of Vocational and 2 programs for the Master of Vocational in Printing Technology and Interior Design in the long list of our program. In the same year, the Ministry of Human Resource Development of the Government of India, now it is known as the Ministry of Higher Education and Technical Education, is giving approval to run an institutional innovation cell and execute the scheme of the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. The Unnat Bharat Abhiyan scheme has widened the scope of our efforts to work for the rural as well as the tribal community. Considering our contribution in Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, the government of Maharashtra led the responsibility to carry out Unnat Maharashtra Abhiyan in the year 2019. Again in 2019, the University Grant Commission sanctioned the scheme of Paramarsh, encouraging us to assist the other institution in divergent work area. KTHM College became one of the few recipient colleges getting the status of the STRIDE in 2020. The STRIDE means the Scheme for Transdisciplinary Research for India's Developing Economy, offers us a scope to widen our horizon in our academic efforts. We have introduced the 11 distinguished courses under the STRIDE which are already approved by our parent university, that is Savitribai Phule Pune University. Sir, it's proud to explain. In addition to that, we have the big list of the different enrichment courses which include the add-on courses, then the audit courses, as well as some of the courses which are related to the curriculum base. We have already established the central instrumentation facility for nurturing the research culture among the budding research scholars. The research mobilization which we have initiated has been supported by various renowned apex bodies providing the financial assistance. And after the second cycle of the NAC, we have received a grant of rupees 9.97 crore for executing the research activities on our campus, which ultimately leads to the community services. Having concern the maintaining healthy environment, we have been approved with air purity testing lab by MPCB, that is the Maharashtra Pollution Control Board, as well as the Central Pollution Control Board, through which we provide the purity data of Nasik city to concerned authority every day. We also get engaged in the exploration of the soil testing, especially of the grape harvest farming, for which Nasik is known in the country. Friends, there is a much to assert about the milestone of the KTHM college. However, the time constraint allows me to emphasize only few of them. I would like to present overview of the numerous and distinguished courses that we offer our students. I strongly feel that innovation we have adopted and sustained in the curricular program has brought success to our efforts. We offer total 58 academic program, out of which 32 for the UG student and rest of the 26 for the PG. We run all these 58 program through the 32 department of the arts, science, commerce, BBA, biotech, computer science, nanomaterial and nanoscience, animation and the bio discipline. We do believe that research perspective plays a very important as well as the crucial role in discovering knowledge and dissemination it in the society. We nurture research culture on our campus through 23 research programs, out of which 13 for the PhD and 10 for the MPhil in various disciplines. Friends, the accessibility and the availability of the numerous novel and innovative programs on our campus fetch great academic success for us so far. The number 698 of the rank holders, 51 of the first rank holder in various programs, and the several gold medalists have proved the fruitfulness of our academic efforts. The number of rank holders seems to be increased consistently after the NAC accreditation from the year 2004. Actually, these different types of the workshop, the FDP program, lecture series, organized under the scheme of the STRIDE. Under the scheme of the STRIDE, I have already explained about that. We have started some of the innovative research project. All these research projects based on the socially relevant, locally need-based, nationally important, and globally competent. The STRIDE scheme is a more supportive for the basic, applied, and transformational action research for the India's developing economy to attain sustainable development goals, which will facilitate the overall human development. There are two important objectives of the STRIDE. First objective is to identify young talent, strengthen the research culture, build the capacity, promote the innovation, support the transdisciplinary research relevant to the national development, and to enhance the overall well-being of the society. Second objective is to find high-impact national network project in the identified thrust areas in the humanities, human science, and the Indian knowledge system. Very fortunate thing is, Zoology department organized this lecture series in the line of the objectives of the STRIDE, which will remain beneficial for all the research students, different types of the researcher, as well as the faculty member. Once again, I welcome all the dignitaries all the participants on behalf of the KTHM College. To conclude, I wish you all a great success in the coming days of this online lecture series. I express my thanks towards Honorable Dr. Ramesh Bonde for being with us for the inaugural event of this online lecture series. Over once, I wish you best of luck. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I will come back to our eminent guest today. Our eminent guest is Dr. Ramesh Ramchandra Bhonde, who is the director in the D.Y. Patil University, Pune, who joined the university in September 2016. Before that, he was the professor and dean at the School of Regenerative Medicine, Bangalore, for 5 years. As already Kakulti sir has mentioned that he was also scientist F in the NCCS Pune, and later he joined the Stempeutics Research Private Limited, Bangalore, and also he was in their branch in Kuala Lumpur. He's been working in the field of pancreatic regeneration in diabetes for past more than 20 years, 20 to 25 years. His areas of interest and expertise include stem cells, regenerative biology, tissue banking, and engineering, and with special reference to the cultivation of fastidious cells such as hepatocytes, vascular endothelial cells, and islets of Langerhans. So he's also well trained in the HESC, that is human embryonic stem cell, and induced pluripotent stem cell technology. Being a zoologist, he has handled several projects dealing with the development of fish cell lines of Indian origin and cultures of amoebocytes from horseshoe crab. Uh, he's also having a pioneer work in the stem cell in the breast milk. In his long tenure, he has also guided 21 PhD students. He has more than 230 publications, of which 191 is listed in PubMed and 206 on the Scopus, and many more. He has also authored 7 books also. Uh, he is a recipient of TMA Pi Endowment Chair, okay, in October 2013. Then he's also received Dr. CM Abdullah Annual Oration Award in January 2014, and again he has been awarded the TMA Pi Endowment Chair, okay, second time. There are many more things about this sir, but all are not here to listen to me, but to him. So I kindly request sir to start with his lecture. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Bhagat.
Thank you, sir.
Principal, sir, all the dignitaries who are present here, all the students, staff. I really feel proud and privileged to be invited as a guest speaker. And being a zoologist, I really seek pleasure to talk to zoologists because that is the future of India. Because zoology is always a neglected subject. People feel that nothing much can be done in zoology, but that is not true. I mean, one can always learn zoology and biology in general. Now, there is no question of compartmentalization because the entire world of biology is with us and zoology is a part of that. So, from that point of view, it is really interesting to know what are the kind of cell biology that we have learned during zoological study, and a branch of that will be a stem cell biology. So I am going to talk to you, and it is not nothing new to you because most of the biologists, zoologists, botanists, environmental biologists know what the cell is. The question is, we may not know what is a stem cell, but that is also possible. And I will concentrate on giving you some glimpses of my research as well as the basics and applications of stem cells in human health, welfare, and so on. So actually, I always say that the stem cells are there for wellness as well as illness. So don't think that the stem cells are there only for illness. Even to keep you fit, your stem cells should be fit. That means how much fit you are, depends on your pool of stem cells which is present in your body. Now, how can I share my slides?
त्यांना सांगा कसं शेअर करायचं शेअर
Sir, please start your
Yeah, presentation, you will be able to see that. Okay.
थ्री डॉट
and then, sir, I'll tell you how to present it. You just start it.
Are you able to see anything here?
Not yet, sir. On your
त्यांना सांगा
just a
ना
minute.
त्यांना सांगा ना मी थ्री डॉट मी काहीच नाही केलं
Because there is share option is there, I am not sure.
Sir, you have multiple tabs. In
Yeah.
that, you have it icon where arrow is there, present now at the
Activate
center.
at the center.
हिअर हिअर
Meeting details are there.
सर हिअर हिअर
Okay.
हिअर आय एम जस्ट कर्सर मुव्हिंग द कर्सर
Okay. Yeah, here, right. Okay.
नाही तुमचं नाही दिसत आहे.
नाही का
Okay.
अच्छा त्यांना दिसलं बहुतेक.
Name is here. Remove.
दिसतंय का
Pin yourself to the main screen. Okay.
So a window, you can select a window in that.
Sir, here in the dash bar of Google Meet, there is have the present now. The square box is an arrow in between.
Activities.
Sir, you can see the icon, hand icon. Next to
Hand
it,
raise icon just nearer to hand raise icon. There is have the present now option.
Okay. This is meeting details.
Got it?
नहीं नहीं.
So here is
Sir,
meeting details.
Sir, at the bottom of the screen,
Oh, fine. Yeah.
raise hand one icon is there.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Next to it, present now. Just yes. Next to that,
Okay. Yeah.
arrow is there. That is
Yes.
present now.
And now
In that, you can go for a window.
your entire screen.
Sir, a window.
Window.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And in that window,
Share.
your
Yes.
Share. Okay. Share an application window. So this is to be selected.
yes, sir. The window you have to select the window. And again, they will ask you several. Yes. We can.
It is showing.
Can you see now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll wait
Now
for-
just start your
Presentation.
presentation.
Yeah. Can you see it now?
I can see your screen, sir,
Okay.
but there is no presentation on that.
Is it?
मला नाही दिसतंय.
I already shared it. Google Meet already shared.
So you have shared the screen of Google, whatever. Yes, I can
Okay.
see you.
Okay. Now what you want to share? Plus or something? 1 minute. I just check.
So you start your presentation, it will be visible.
नाही असं नाही होणार
त्यांनी त्यांची स्क्रीन प्रेझेंट केली आहे.
त्यांना एक काम करा त्यांना एकदा
Because already I am getting the signal stop sharing. So but you are not able to see. 1 minute. I will just call them.
एकदा हाईड करायला एकदा लेफ्ट नेक्स्ट पुन्हा
त्यांनी ना त्यांचं प्रेझेंट
ते गेले तर आलेच नाही.
Excuse me, sir.
नाही ते गेलेत गेले बाहेर गेले.
Uh, all members just wait for 5 minutes. We'll start the presentation.
तेवढे हात दाखवले इथे स्टॉप शेअरिंग येते.
सर स्टॉप शेअरिंगला नाही दाबायचंय. ते प्रेझेंटिंग मध्ये फक्त तुमचा विंडो मिनिमाइज करा आणि सरांचं प्रेझेंटेशन स्टार्ट
त्यांना
करू.
स्टॉप शेअरिंग करू द्या. एंटायर विंडो सिलेक्ट करायला म्हणजे त्यांना लगेच त्यांची विंडो ओपन केली.
So you can do also one thing, you stop sharing and again start the entire window sharing. Okay.
And start again, select the entire window.
Now you select the entire window by pushing the same button.
Present now, then select the entire window.
सर ते हँड वरती नाही करायचंय. त्याच्या शेजारचं जे आहे दॅट इज प्रेझेंट नाव.
ओके
इन दॅट एंटायर विंडो यू सिलेक्ट एंटायर विंडो. Yes, sir. Now you can, sir, minimize this
Start your presentation.
and start your presentation. Minimize the window and start your presentation. काय केलं?
Can you see now? Are you able to see?
Not yet, sir.
Can you see now?
Not yet, sir.
Presentation start करा ना.
So please start your presentation. Then I will. I can see that
Slideshow.
in a slideshow
Do the
mode.
slideshow.
Right, slideshow mode. But can you see
हाँ
the
madam.
screen?
Yes, I can see, but it is a blank screen actually.
Can you see now?
Not yet. Not yet.
There's some issue there. But the screen is
Sir, Bhagat sir, you please share your screen, open your PPT and show it at least, so that will be helpful.
Okay, fine. Sir, I will show you how to do it. I'll just share my screen to you.
Yeah, my colleague is here, Dr. Surada. She is also here. She's from innovation. Yeah.
See, sir, I'll show you. See your entire window screen I'm sharing. Can you see this?
let's try this one.
Yes, yes.
You can see my screen now.
No, I don't see your screen.
Now,
No.
yeah.
Okay. Now you can see, sir, whole of the screen is there, right?
Just go.
So can you see both of us now here?
Yes, sir. So just see what I am doing here. See here, I'm clicking this. You are presenting, and now you have a stop presenting. But when I click this, at that time there will be entire window,
Select the entire window.
and you select the entire window and tell them to share. There will be button of share,
Yes.
and then we can start it.
Yeah, we did the same thing, sir. We did the same thing. Let's
Or
try.
otherwise, there is another option below that. A tab you can share. So in that they will ask you several. They will show you several windows. Out of that, you can select one window.
Here now.
Okay. Yes, sir. Now I can see your presentation.
Present now.
Yes.
Present now.
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir. Now.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Can you see something moving on the screen in the main graph?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So these are the heartbeats of cardiomyocytes which are developed from stem cells. So the idea here is the stem cells can differentiate into any type of cell, and here what you are watching are the beating cardiomyocytes. as a zoologist, all of us have seen the animal heart beating or the whole heart beating, but we have not seen the single cell beating, which can be seen here. Okay. So the question is, what are stem cells and where they are present? So theoretically, we all know that the stem cells are present in certain pockets of our animal body or the human body, and these stem cells, the importance of the stem cells that they have not forgotten their mitosis. So these are the cells having infinite self-redeeming capacity. At the same time, they have a potential for differentiation. Now, as a zoologist, I can tell you that the golden storage of stem cells is in the bone marrow. All of us know that bone marrow is a storehouse of cells, and it is the golden storage in the sense it is the first kind of a cell which were identified as a stem cell in the bone marrow. And the bone marrow, we have hematopoietic stem cells, as well as we have got another kind of stem cells called as stromal stem cells. And in addition to bone marrow, we also know that the stems are present in the skin. As we all know, every time the skin cells are getting renewed, whenever you take bath, the stratum corneum goes on, and then always there is a rejuvenation of the skin that happens. Similarly, the stem cells are present also in intestine of the crypt of livercule, and as well as they are present into the gonads. So these are the pockets which we all know that the stem cells are present. And the importance of the stem cells, as I said earlier, that they have not forgotten their mitosis. And there are stem cells, there are types, it is a totipotent stem cell which is a zygote. So when we have fertilization, the egg and sperm meet, and then what we result is a diploid zygote, and from that zygote the entire embryo comes out. So then it is called as the totipotent, pluripotent, multipotent, and so on. Now the question is, when the stem cell divides, it divides mitotically into one stem cell and another committed cell. So this is what we call as asymmetrical division. Okay. Now the characteristic features of the stem cells that they self-renew, and it is unlimited potential of self-renewal. Actually, this kind of a feature is similar to that of cancer cells, but these are normal cells and they do not differentiate into cancer. Okay, then another property of the stem cell that they can convert themselves into any other type of cell, which is called as differentiation. Then their plasticity, that is, they are very much elastic and they have the regenerative potential. Okay. Now, what do I mean by differentiation? So here, I have just shown that a bone marrow stem cell can differentiate into red blood cells, white blood cell, platelets. Similarly, the cartoon presentation is that from all the bakery products we can get from a single precursor cell, maybe maida or whatever is there. From that you can get all kinds of pastries, cookies, cakes, and so on. So this is from a common precursor, you get all types of bakery products, and that is the result of the differentiation, just to show a cartoon. Okay. Now, what is expected from the stem cells? Why there is so much everyday newspaper, you will get something on the stem cell? Because the stem cells is a biological solution to the biological problem. So actually, Thomas Okarama, he said once that the hope that the stem cell therapy will repair and regenerate the diseased organs and tissues goes beyond what pills and calcium can ever do. So actually, it is thought that the stem cells which are present in pockets of human body, such as bone marrow, can be utilized to repair and regenerate the lost tissue, the degenerated tissue, and where the calpels and pills stop, that means everything stops, the stem cell work will start. So actually I have written a paper that it is a kind of a regenerative therapy for a degenerative disease. So wherever there is a degeneration, for example in the old age, most of suffer from osteoarthritis of the knee. So the knee joint cartilage gets completely degenerated and the bones will touch each other. There will be friction of the bones which will give rise to pain, and then whether it is possible to regenerate this cartilage which is lost because of the old age, because of the wear and tear, and there is a hope that the stem cell injections into the knee joint can regenerate this degenerated cartilage. Now, most of the clinical trials on osteoarthritis of the knee have been taken place, and people have shown that a single injection of stem cells into the osteoarthritic knee joint removes your pain, removes inflammation, and it leads to regeneration of the degenerated cartilage. So this stem cell has given rise to a branch called as regenerative medicine. So it deals with restoration of tissues and organs damaged by wear, trauma, congenital deformities, and so on. And basically, as I told you earlier, that stem cell is a biological solution to the biological problem. So basically, it is a cell replacement therapy. The drug treatment will stimulate the body's stem cells for the regenerative ability, and the long-term goal of the regenerative medicine therapy is to treat the patient with its own stem cells. The whole question is that whether you can expand the stem cells and whether these stem cells can be used for the regenerative therapy. Now we all know regeneration, as we are all zoologists, is the hydra. The hydra can regenerate. You can make a small pieces of hydra and each piece can regenerate into complete hydra because it is a totipotent. That means it has a complete potential to give rise to the new hydra. So that if the head is lost, head can be regenerated. If the foot is lost, foot can be regenerated. And it is a classical example. But what happens in hydra will not happen in human being, because all the lower animals like hydra, planaria, leech, lobsters, crabs, they have some kind of regenerative ability. Even in amphibians, in salamander, if the limb is cut, that limb will regenerate again. In the reptiles, the tail is lost. In lizard, it regenerates again. But that thing does not happen in human. If we lose our finger, we will not be able to regenerate the finger again. But there are chances that some of the degenerated tissues can be regenerated by stem cells. For example, during the heart attack, myocardial infarction, the cardiomyocytes of the heart, they die, and then there will be another stem cells within the heart which will regenerate the degenerated cardiomyocytes, and the patients will feel better without undergoing a bypass surgery. So these are some of the aspects of the regenerative medicine which I will highlight later on. But the idea is, as we evolve and as we go higher up the ladder of evolution, that is from Pisces, amphibians, reptiles, birds and mammals, the regenerative capacity goes on decreasing. Yes. Lecture. Yeah. Okay. Now these are the sources of stem cells. The question is, the people will ask us what are stem cells and where are stem cells. Now to give you a beautiful answer, that stem cells are everywhere. In your KG, you have studied where is air, and the answer is air is everywhere. So the same thing is here, that the stem cells are present everywhere in the human body. You should have an eye to find out where the stem cells are. So during the development, the stems are present in the embryo, which we call as embryonic stem cells. Then there are germ stem cells. Then there are fetal stem cells which are present at the time of the delivery, placenta, umbilical cord. Then there are infant stem cell, and then there are adult stem cells. So the question is, right from the development of an organism, the stem cells are present right from zygote up to the adult, and therefore it is possible to isolate the stem cells from several organs. I will give you the list later on. So these are the actually sources of stem cells which are usually discarded as a biological waste. For example, the excess of embryos which are formed during in vitro fertilization will be a wonderful source because these are excess embryos. During in vitro fertilization, the eggs and sperms are made to fuse or fertilize into the test tube, and then they fertilize because several eggs get fertilized and only one or two are implanted into the uterus so that the lady will conceive and she will deliver a new baby. But the remaining excess of embryos can be stored frozen and those can be used for embryonic stem cell development. Similarly, aborted fetus can be a source of stem cell. Cord blood is another source of stem cell. You must have heard that there are several cord blood banks. The baby's cord blood is stored and it acts as an insurance for that baby because they can be used later on in case the baby suffers with some fatal disease. Similarly, there are stem cells present into the cord, into the placenta, amnion, amniotic fluid, endometrium, menstrual blood, wisdom tooth, milk tooth, everywhere. So you name the tissue and you have the stem cells. Now you will be surprised to see that there are even stem cells into the adult adipose tissue. Now this is just to show the cord blood stem cells. They are easily available when the cord is cut during the delivery. It is possible to collect the cord blood and to isolate the stem cells and freeze the stem cells in liquid nitrogen where you can store it for a long period. Then there are, as I told you, embryonic stem cells which are developed from the embryo. Don't worry about that. These embryonic stem cells can differentiate into ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. As I told you earlier, the cardiomyocytes are developed from these cells and they can be used now for toxicity testing. The idea is all kinds of stem cells cannot be used for transplantation because embryonic stem cells and induced pluripotent stem cells are not recommended for transplantation because they may develop into teratoma because they are very plastic and elastic. So only adult stem cells developed from bone marrow, developed from adipose tissue, which are derived from adipose tissue can be used, or placenta, amnion can be used for transplantation purposes. Now, these are what we call as, the most of my lecture will be concentrated on the adult postnatal stem cell. That means the stem cells which are developed after the birth or during the delivery are the best sources of stem cells. So these are the tissue resident stem cells which regulate the homeostasis of the human tissues and they continuously generate new progenitor cells. So blood can be a source of stem cells, bone marrow, skin, gut mucosa, muscle, cartilage, cornea. Liver and pancreas has got the best pool of stem cells. If you consider in our entire body, skin of course regenerates, bone marrow regenerates, but if you cut the liver comes back again, that means it has a maximum power of regeneration. Similarly, if you cut the pancreas 50% in the animal, the entire pancreas regenerates. So liver and pancreas have got lot of stem cells and therefore it is possible to have a live liver donation. If a healthy person with tissue matching donates one lobe of the liver to his son, daughter or the relative with HLA match, then the liver of that person, the donor, regenerates again. So this is the capacity of a stem cell that they can regenerate the entire liver. And you will not believe, but the adipose tissue, which all of us will hate, everybody wants to be slim and thin, but the adipose tissue has got the maximum number of stem cells than bone marrow. Bone marrow is the gold standard, but adipose tissue, so it is possible to take the adipose tissue from the patient's body, isolate the stem cells, and they can be injected into the knee joint for osteoarthritis or regeneration of the cartilage. So adipose tissue can be used for several other cosmetic purposes, for anti-wrinkle therapy, for breast augmentation therapy, and several kind of plastic surgery. The adipose tissue can be used, which is easily available by liposuction. Because most of the people will undergo liposuction to remove the obesity or to remove the excess of fat from their body. So all this discarded fat is a wonderful source of stem cells. Now this has nothing to do with the stem cells, but what I was thinking that another embryonic model for zoologists, it will be interesting to see that we have developed, in fact, I have developed one of my PhD students, a cell-less chick embryo culture that you can study the entire development of the chick embryo in a glass bowl covered with petri dish, and you can see the development of the eye, the entire body of the animal or the embryo, and the entire angiogenesis. So everything is see-through, transparent, and this becomes a wonderful model because this is a developing embryo which has got all the stem cells. So you can use it for angiogenesis, developmental biology, virology, toxicology, and so on. So I have used this, and if you Google and just give the name cell-less chick embryo culture, you will find the entire my paper that this is how the entire development takes place from day one. This is just ice cream bowl and it does not require any facility. If you have an egg incubator, most of the zoology departments will have the egg incubator. So you have to just take an ice cream bowl, petri dish which should be sterile, and you just cut open the egg into the bowl, but it should be a fertilized egg. What we eat for the making omelette or the boiled egg, these are unfertilized eggs which we get in the market, but you have to go to the poultry and ask for the fertilized eggs which you can get it from the poultry, and then it is possible to visualize the entire development of the chicken. And then you can use this as a model for studying the effect of alcohol, for studying the effect of high glucose and so on. So we have actually studied the effect of high glucose in the development of the embryo. This is normal, this is normal, this is abnormal. This is called microsomia, or if the concentration is too high, it will be totally abnormal. Okay, now the question is how the stem cells look like under microscope. I have said everything about what are stem cells. So the stem cells are present everywhere, and these stem cells, they look like a spindle shaped cell, something like a fibers. They look like a fibroblast, and therefore they are spindle shaped cells, and they will under the microscope look like a complete stromal cells or kind of a connective tissue. And this is the morphology of a stem cell. Now, how to identify that what you are isolated is the stem cell? People are isolated stem cells from amnion, umbilical cord, placenta, adipose tissue, bone marrow, and because it's a mixture of several cells, so the stem cells have their own characteristic feature. Just like all of us have some identity marks on our body, which is required for passport purposes. So you have got some mole on the cheek or mole or some kind of identity marks that you have in your body, which you have to mention in the passport. Similarly, the stem cells on their surface will have the CD markers, cluster of different 105, 73, 90. So they should be positive, and they should be negative for CD45, CD34, which are hemopoietic stem markers. So, and another thing is that these stem cells should be able to differentiate into osteoblasts, adipocytes, and chondroblasts. So this is as per the International Stem Cell Society guidelines, that the stem cells are those which will attach to the plastic, which will attach to the glass. So they are present at the bottom of the glass or the bottom of the flask, and they are encouraged dependent. That means they are not in suspension. If the stem cell is in suspension, it is not a stem cell. So the stem cells are always attached to the surface. They are spindle shaped, and you can, by the antibody, there is a special machine called as FACS, fluorescence activated cell sorter. You can say that they are positive for CD105, 73, 93, and they are negative for this. And these stem cells should be able to differentiate at least into the adipocyte, chondrocytes, and osteocytes. Now, why so much talk is about stem cells? Because as you know, even if you transfuse the blood, you require a matching donor. If you want to transplant the bone marrow or transplant the kidney or transplant the entire heart or liver, you require a matching donor. But the stem cells, which I am talking about, mesenchymal stem cells, that they do not require tissue matching. So they are not recognized as a foreign, and therefore these are very important. There is no risk of rejection because the stem cells taken from somebody else's body are not recognized as foreign by the recipient body. So it is safe to transplant the stem cells from one person to the other person without any immunosuppression, because these stem cells, they do not express the HLA-DR antigen. Then there is no risk of cancer, teratoma formation. Then they are multipotent because they can differentiate to any organ. Their precise identification, they can be easily isolated. They are genetically stable. There are no ethical issues because you are using the stem cells from the discarded tissue. For example, there are several clinical trials going on from umbilical cord, जे बाळाची नाळ असते, that is umbilical cord, that these stem cells have been used even to treat the COVID-19 patients. So anybody's cord blood cells can be used for anybody because they are not recognized as foreign. It's efficient expansion and so on. No, don't worry, they are immunomodulatory, several things. And the question is, the entire thing is, now this is just to show that hematopoietic stem cell, it will give rise to blood, and the stromal cells will give rise to mesenchymal stem cell. So actually in the bone marrow there are two compartments. One is the stromal compartment, which is called as the MSCs, which will give rise to these chondrocytes, osteocytes, vascular tissue, neuron, and so on. Whereas the blood component will only give rise to the lymphocytes, red blood cell, platelets, and so on. So the hematopoietic stem cell transplantation will require tissue matching, but the stromal cell transplantation does not require tissue matching because they are not identified as foreign cells. Now, how does MSCs work? So they secrete bioactive molecules that exert anti-apoptotic, immunomodulatory, antigenic, anti-scarring, anti-fibrotic, and chemoattractant possibility. That means the stem cells will secrete certain growth factors, cytokines, angiogenic substances by which they will help to repair and regenerate the particular organ. For example, in COVID patients, there is a loss of pulmonary alveoli, and these alveoli, because they are not able to take the oxygen, so there are few trials in COVID-19 patients that the stem cells are injected intravenously, and it is shown that there is an improvement in the lung capacity and regeneration of the alveoli. One more important thing of the stem cell, that these stem cells secrete cytokines which are anti-inflammatory. All of you must have read in the newspaper that during the COVID-19 there is what is called as a storm, cytokine storm, that means which will give rise to a lot of swelling and inflammation, and the stem cells have got anti-inflammatory activity, and therefore they are able to counter that cytokine storm, and the patients become normal. So this is all again same thing. Now the MSCs can be extracted from various sites. Then the donor age, sex, disease status is important. So everything what you require. Hello. Can I call you right now?
कोणाचं तरी डबल माईक सुरू आहे.
Hello. Welcome, no problem. Oh, sure, sure. Right. Welcome, all the best. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Okay, now the question is how the stem cells are cultivated outside. So just as we all require a nutrient medium, there is a special stem cell medium. So these are grown into the plastic bottles which are called as culture flasks. So this is 75 culture flasks and this is the medium which looks pink in color. So pink color shows that there is a phenol ray which is present into the as a coloring agent, and it shows that it is alkaline pH. So the stem cells are grown in a stem cell medium which is ready-made available, and it is actually a cell culture medium consisting of a mixture of amino acids, mixture of all the salts, mixture of all the vitamins, and it is supplemented with 10 to 20% serum. Now, depending upon how many cells you want, you can choose the vessel. So this is 75 centimeter flask. This is 2 cell stack. Then this is 10 chamber stack, and this is 40 chamber stack. So in this 10 chamber stack, you can grow the cells up to 300 millions, 250 to 300 millions, starting with a seeding density or 5 to 6 millions. Now this is just to show what are the sources of stem cell. So you can get from the placenta, you can get from the umbilical cord. So umbilical cord and placenta which are discarded as a biological waste, you can take the patient consent because anyway they are discarded, and you can make use of these to prepare the stem cell culture. So this is, for example, the umbilical cord, this is the cross section, these are the cells which are isolated, and then you can see the interior of the cells also, that is they are present for mitotic bodies and so on. Now being my special interest in diabetes, I was able to convert these umbilical cord stem cells into islets of Langerhans. So it is because that is the beauty of stem cell, that the stem cells can be differentiated into cardiomyocytes, chondrocytes, osteocytes, neurons, islets of Langerhans, hepatocytes, anything. You name the cell and it is possible to convert by using a cocktail of growth factors the stem cell into any kind of cell. So these are the islets of, so you can see the cells are fibroblast-like. Then when you start differentiating, they aggregate, and finally you get these islets of Langerhans which are floating, and they also produce insulin. Now I have shown that these islets of Langerhans which are produced from the stem cells, if we transplant it into diabetic animal, there is a complete reversal of the diabetes. So this is very important breakthrough in the islet biology, or for the type 1 diabetes, the persons, those who have to take insulin every day, the islet transplantation is the only solution. But the cadaver islet transplantation, there are risks because so many cadavers are not available. So it is possible to derive the islets of Langerhans from the stem cells, and then they can be injected into the liver, because the islet transplantation is not done into the pancreas, it is always done into the liver, and then it is possible to reverse the diabetes. Now, for example, in the diabetic individuals, it is possible to collect their bone marrow or collect their adipose tissue, make the islets of Langerhans and transplant it to the same patient. So it is a autologous kind of transplantation which will not require any kind of immunosuppression. Yeah, all of it. Congrats. For the islet transplantation is not done. Oh, right. This is okay, so in short, it is possible that you can make use of umbilical cord, placenta, endometrium, amnion, fallopian tube. You can make mesenchymal stem cell, which can differentiate into adipocytes, chondrocytes, osteocytes. They can be different to islets of Langerhans. You transplant it to diabetic animals, and there can be a reversal of diabetes. Similarly, there are stem cells present into the tooth which is extracted. For example, wisdom tooth आपल्या प्रत्येकाला माहिती आहे की अक्कल दाढ बरेच वेळेला त्रास होतो, so that needs to be removed. So from that extracted tooth, it is possible to cultivate the stem cells from the dental pulp. So this is, you all of you know histology of the teeth. So there is a dentin, there is an enamel, and there is a pulp cavity, and from this pulp there are dental pulp stem cells which can be. So actually I have shown that the dental pulp stem cells can be cultivated or can be differentiated into pancreatic lineage, and there are others who have shown that they can be differentiated into cardiomyocytes, skin cell, neurons, and so on. Now, when the tooth is extracted, you have to cut the enamel and then take the pulp. So this is, we have developed an instrument by which you can hold the tooth, then with a diamond knife, you can cut the entire enamel and then you can pick up the pulp, and once the pulp is there, you will be able to see these kind of stem cells. So all this is a published literature, and it is possible to make use of the dental pulp stem cells, and I was the first one to show that these dental pulp stem cells can be converted into islets of Langerhans. So this is how they will look like the islets of Langerhans, which are positive for insulin and which are positive for special steering called diethyrazone. Okay, the advantages of the dental pulp stem cells that they are neural crystalline origin. Now, rest of you all know in your 12th standard you must have studied that there are 3 germ layers: ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. So most of the tissues like umbilical cord, adipose tissue, placenta, they are all derived from mesoderm. The liver and pancreas are derived from endoderm, whereas the dental pulp stem cells are derived from ectoderm. The skin is derived from endoderm, the nervous system is derived from ectoderm, and so on. So therefore, the dental pulp stem cells are good for skin, they are good for neurological disorders, they are good for wound healing, they are resistant to hypoxia, they are resistant to sugar. So you can use these stem cells even for diabetes. Now I was talking to you about the stem cell islet transplantation, that is only for type 1 diabetes. But for type 2 diabetes who are not on insulin but who have to take some anti-diabetic drugs, they can also be treated with these stem cells. Just injection of stem cell will make them sensitive to the insulin. And there are few clinical studies are going on, but large number of clinical trials are essential. And I think one of the clinicians from Chandigarh, they have treated the diabetic patient with stem cells which are injected directly into the pancreatic artery, and they got a good control over the sugar. Okay, so ultimately the stem cells are reached the clinics, and the stem cell research is not confined to the laboratory, but it has now come into the clinical trials. So as I told you, for myocardial infarction, bone marrow stem cells have been used, which improve cardiac function. Chronic liver failure, there is an improvement. Then diabetic foot, it is a very, very bad condition where the foot has to be amputated. There is amputation of the foot, and the patient loses his foot. So it is possible to recover this diabetic foot and prevent the amputation by intravascular and intravenous injections of the bone marrow stem cell. It is good for non-healing ulcers because diabetic persons always suffer from wound healing problems. The wound will not heal as in a normal case. So in such diabetic wounds, the stem cell is a boon. Then the chronic liver or lung failure, the alveolar damage, then cartilage damage, as I told you, and corneal damage at limbal cell transplantation. For example, all of you know that the eyes are donated, and then these donated eyes are transplanted to the blind person, that is cornea, and the blind person will get the vision. So that is a normal corneal transplantation which does not require tissue matching which does not require any kind of HLA matching. Anybody's cornea can fit into anybody and the blind person can see. Now it is possible even to culture these cells from the limbal stem cell and transplant it to restore the vision. So there is a LV Prasad Eye Institute in Hyderabad which have done more than 300 cases of limbal cell transplantation for the improvement of the vision, and then there is no need to cornea to transplant or wait for somebody to donate the eyes and so on. Now these are the stem cells from the breast milk. Now it is very important that even the breast milk has got a stem cell, and these stem cells is a gift from mother to the fetus. So the stem cells from the mother's milk will go into the fetus body and they will try or they are important in the development of the entire body, because the infant which is born is still immature. So all these organs are in a developing stage. So the breastfeeding is very, very important, because not only it gives you the milk, but it also gives you the stem cells from the breast milk, which is a natural oral stem cell therapy from mother to the fetus. These are characteristics of stem cells, don't worry about that. Okay. Then ultimately the future of the stem cell will lies in the fact that it is possible to cure not all but many of the diseases which are otherwise incurable. For example, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, which are very or all the diseases of the old age can be controlled by the stem cell transplantation, and then it is possible to improve upon the quality of life. We are not going to make anybody immortal by stem cell transplantation, but at least a paralytic person, if he is able to walk by stem cell transplantation, it will be a great thing for the family, it will be a great thing for the society. So all those dreadful diseases which cannot be cured just by medicine, there is a possibility that they can be cured by stem cell transplantation. So the moral of the story, the stem cells have huge potential which can be encashed by reducing repair and regeneration of damaged tissues to improve upon the quality of the life. And the stem cell research explores the regenerative medicine for the degenerative diseases by using appropriate differentiating agents. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now the session is open for the questions. Anybody who want, you can ask the questions by messages. Also, you can ask the questions.
Yeah, sure.
So, sir, I have first questions.
Please.
Sir, the first thing is about what are the laws regarding regenerative medicine in India, actually, related with the human embryo or stem cell use.
The embryonic research is banned. Research is okay, but you cannot use the embryonic stem cell for transplantation.
Okay.
You can use embryonic stem cell and pluripotent stem cell as a wonderful research tool for toxicology and drug testing. But the adult stem cells, which are derived from bone marrow, adipose tissue, placenta, umbilical cord, can be used in clinical trials by having a GMP facility. You should have complete like a pharma industry. You should have a good laboratory practice or the good manufacturing facility which is approved by CDSCO as well as ICMR and DBT. Now we have in the Dental College of D.Y. Patil a GMP stem cell lab where we are growing. I mean, your students are welcome to visit and see the facility at the D.Y. Patil, Pune.
Nice.
Because you can see how the stem cell look like under microscope, how the islets of Langerhans look like, how this embryo, chick embryo, all these things which I have told you, we are practicing here in the D.Y. Patil Vidyapit, Pune, and we have GMP grade laboratory where we are permitted to produce stem cells for therapeutic purposes and also in the clinical trial. And there are, of course, guidelines by ICMR and DBT. You cannot use directly into the patient. Every stem cell treatment will be a clinical trial.
Okay, sir. So there is another question. As you mentioned about the corneal stem cell research,
Yes.
is there any research undergoing regarding retina regeneration?
No, retina is very difficult. People are trying. There is one institute in Bangalore called iStem. So they are working on macular degeneration. So there would be some solution to the macular degeneration. So are developing cells which can be injected into the retina, but that is still under experimental conditions. But cornea is already in the market. It is possible to implant the limbal stem cells into the lost cornea, and the cornea can be regenerated.
Okay, sir. Sir, how effective it is to store neonatal stem cells in a stem cell bank for future use?
No, actually there are limitations. Earlier it was thought that the cord blood stem cells will have a good future. But it is good as long as the child is very small, up to 5 years. We can, in case he suffers from some bad disease, then the stem cells can be used for that child. But it is not correct that you keep it for 21 years and all that, because they cannot be expanded further. So it has got its own merits and demerits. But you know, in our Hindu culture, people have used umbilical cord and keep it in some kind of a storage medium, and they have used it as a Ajisa Batwa, stem cell therapy for the child. So there is some sense, definitely there is no question, but now it is possible to have the stem cells from adipose tissue, from bone marrow, from dental pulp, so there is no necessity to go for cord blood bank. So choices depends on the parents.
So there is another question from Harshada Badange, that is dried form of placenta useful for a long time? If
No,
yes,
right
then
form of placenta is used especially for cosmetic purposes or for wound healing and all. Because the whole question is that these are all proteins. So proteins may not stay. So actually we now prepare from the stem cells the conditioned medium, and then it can be injected for wound healing. We are working on that. So dried form of placenta may be used only as a dressing for some kind of wounds, but not necessarily.
okay, sir. So there is another question from Rali Alkunde. Sir, as you mentioned about regeneration of cartilage of
Yes,
knee,
correct.
is it possible? How it was done?
Yeah. We have done actually, we have done many clinical trials, especially in Baroda, that you take the adipose tissue of the patient's body, isolate the stem cells, and make an injection and directly inject it into the knee joint, just like they inject hydrocortisone. Because earlier to that, there are few agents or lubricative agents which can be injected into the knee. So it's a very simple OPD procedure. You don't have to get admitted. And people are saying that this injection of stem cells will regenerate the cartilage, and then there is no necessity to go for the joint replacement or the knee replacement.
There is one more question, sir, from Jyoti Singh. Can the stem cells of different mammals used for transplantation in humans?
No, actually, pig islets have been used and bovine islets have been used earlier. Earlier, before human insulin discovery, people have used human and bovine insulin, which has got a single amino acid difference. But it is possible to use it, it's a xenotransplantation, so it will not be considered as a foreign. But when the stem cells of the human are available, people will not go for animals.
So there is one query. As you said that any stem cell from any one person can be used for another.
Correct.
Is it right?
Absolutely
So how
right.
the genetic makeup is different than how it accepts actually?
No, the whole question is the stem cells pool will have the same chromosome number. Okay. The only question is they are not immunogenic. For example, if you transplant kidney, the whole organ is immunogenic. But if you transplant the cells, they are non-immunogenic.
Okay.
So cells can be transplanted, but not the organ. Organ transplantation requires tissue matching. So that is the beauty of stem cell, and therefore I was in a company called Stempeutics in Bangalore, and they have used bone marrow stem cells of healthy volunteers. They have made a complete SOP of that and made a complete stem cell bank of the human bone marrow derived mesenchymal stem cell, and they are called, that product is known as Stempu cell, and now they are tying up with Cipla pharma company and they are trying it in critical limb ischemia. So it's all known and it is possible, I mean, all under clinical trials.
Okay, sir. Sir, there is another question from Mr. Hamol Handore. Can stem cells of closely related primates be used in one another?
Sure, sure. Because as I told, not necessarily relative, definitely, there is no question. For example, because what happens as we get old, our stem cells also get senesced. So a son can donate the stem cells to the father. It's possible.
Okay, sir. Sir, there is one question. Actually, it's a basic question. What is in the stem cell that possible to formation of a new kind of cell? What exactly drives the stem cell?
Correct, correct. Because these stem cells are plastic and elastic. As I told you, they have not forgotten their mitosis. All the cells of the body have stopped mitosis. But these stem cells still retain their capacity to replicate, and at the same time, their genome is such that it can be modulated to grow into cartilage or bone or islets, and that is the beauty of stem cell. Because they are plastic, there is something like an undifferentiated mass of cells. Just as we have interstitial cells in the plants. So these interstitial cells in the plant give rise to the entire plant. Similarly, these are the undifferentiated pocket which are kept aside by the nature, which have got the capacity to repair and regenerate.
So there is one question that we have earlier you have discussed that up to amphibian level or reptilian level we do see the regeneration, some kind of regeneration. But there is a problem that in mammals you don't have it.
That's
You don't
right.
have it. Why it is so, sir?
And because
We have lost something.
the question is, these are the evils of evolution. The human is the highest evolved organism, and therefore there is a less capacity of regeneration. Otherwise, as it is, we are having a curse of population. So there is always a population explosion. And if every stem cell will give rise amaratva to all the persons, what the nature will do. So actually it is a evolutionary natural selection that only for hair can regrow, skin can regrow, but the entire hand cut cannot regrow. So there are limitations, and this all depends upon the evolutionary clock.
Right, sir. Sir, I think this much of questions is enough.
No, I think everybody must have understood what I spoke, probably.
Yes, sir, of course. It was a very interesting topic actually, stem cell. We never look at this part very closely because we think that
That's why I
stem
said
cell is a very
basically a zoologist, then embryologist, then virologist, then developmental biologist, and now I entered into stem cell and regeneration. So basic my trade is zoology.
so all the students, those who are listening this lecture, if you become a zoologist, that doesn't mean you have stopped. You can go anywhere from
There is
this point.
always scope for evolution, and I always say what you can take from stem cells is their plasticity and elasticity. You should be able to convert yourself into anything. You can. The sky is the limit. Don't restrict yourself to only one branch. You can do several things, and that is you should differentiate yourself so that you go ahead.
Bonde sir, very thank you to invite our invitation and
It's my
respond.
pleasure. I am really happy that you invited me. And when these COVID things will go away, I think I will visit
Yeah,
personally
yes, yes.
because I'm very much interested in giving whatever knowledge I have. I can demonstrate the practicals to your students.
Yes, sir,
And
yes,
your
sir.
KTMS college, I know I am aware of this. Earlier, I used to visit HPT college.
Okay. Yeah,
So we can demonstrate in your college all the stem cell practicals.
because I were to experience in Ferguson College. You have the 2 days workshop of cell culture. That time
Oh, I see.
that time I am one of the faculty in Ferguson College as a temporary faculty.
Oh,
That time we
wonderful.
had contact with, and we I and our student also visited in your lab. So I have
Okay.
some question for you. In
Yes.
Nasik side, there are few students are interested working on stem cell. If is
Mhm.
it get it some chance for the short duration project or something
No, no,
else in your
what
DY
we
Patil
have
lab?
in DY Patil, we are having a 15-day course for
Hmm?
stem cell cultivation.
Yes.
So they can undergo that course. I think fee is 25,000 rupees,
Okay.
but they can learn everything. We'll give you handbook, and it will be a practical thing that they will be able to handle the stem cells on their own. Yeah.
Definitely, sir. Definitely, we are circulating that
Sure,
course
please
details
do
in
that,
our
and
student.
you write to me. You have my mail address
Yes, sir.
also.
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir. And one
Because
another
I
small
am at a
question.
giving end. I have achieved everything in life. So I am at a giving end. I want all young students to take up this as a career.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A small question related to in COVID pandemic situation. There is lot
Yes,
of treatment is going on to the number of patients. There is
correct.
any effect on the stem cell in our body?
COVID.
Yeah.
Now, COVID, one thing is not necessarily on stem cells,
Hmm?
but most of the patients who suffered from COVID have developed diabetes.
Yeah.
So primarily it is a diabetogenic virus.
Oh.
It attacks the beta cells of the pancreas, and as a result of that, most of the COVID patients have developed secondary diabetes because of this virus.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Over to Bhagat, sir.
Sir, just two questions, last question, sir. Uh, there is one question from Amol sir, that if stem cells are still evolving, what is your opinion on that? And second thing, sir, after injecting stem cells, how they are working actually, how they
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
These are
The
the
whole
two
question
questions.
is stem cells not evolving, they are dormant, they are undifferentiated. So when you transplant them into the body, they will differ. Actually, they work through their paracrine secretion, or they act as a catalyst. So they will not last long because all stem cells will have a finite life and they are destined to die, and we don't want the stem cells to live in your body for longer time. Normally they will die in 3 months. But before dying, they secrete their paracrine secretions as growth factors, cytokines, angiogenic agent, and bring about the regeneration. So it is all through the paracrine action.
Okay, sir. Uh, that's it, sir. Thank you very much for all the questions and answers. And it was a pleasure that you have talked with us and shared your knowledge. And whatever you have said, that definitely after this pandemic situation, we will call you here
No,
and
and
we
also
will.
send your students for the workshop or for this stem cell training, as well as
Yes,
they
sir.
can visit the lab anytime. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. We
Thank
will come back to you for that visit. We will definitely contact you for that.
Okay.
On behalf of Zoology Department and KTHM College, I thank Dr. Ramesh Chandra Bonde, sir, for delivering a very important and very interesting topic regarding the stem cell. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. May I leave now?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
So all the participants, we will share you the feedback form. Okay. So you have to fill that form. Then the certificate will be given to you.
Sir,
Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Ma'am, you can announce
sir,
anything. Bhagat, sir.
just tell them about the next session, which will be started at 2 o'clock.
Yes, there will be another session at 2 o'clock. So all can take the break and again join at 2 o'clock. And those who can't join, I'll suggest you that you can go to the YouTube channel, KTHM YouTube channel. This lecture will be live there. So those who will not be able to join on Google Meet, they can join there.
Use same link for the next lecture as well as for the next 2 days lecture. Okay. Join again. Thank you. We can leave the call, all of us. Thank you so much for joining.
ज्योती काय म्हणतोय? करू का स्टॉप मी? एंड कॉल ना? आणि ही लाईव्ह स्ट्रीमिंग पण बंद करायला लागेल. एंड स्ट्रीम करायचं ना? हे बघा, युअर स्ट्रीम विल बी स्टॉप इमिडिएटली, यू विल नो लॉंगर बी लाईव्ह. एंड ना? हो. तो आता काय विचारतोय?